And welcome back to another episode of Ralston Live. I'm your host, John Ralston. We're here at 98.5 FM, WXPM in Phoenixville. Today on the show, we have Bob Young from Young Family Productions. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
And
Good to be here.
I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I heard you're invading Ireland.
Yes, sir, we are invading Ireland, and along with a bunch of other European countries. But the first country we're invading is Ireland.
I saw the video, and we're going to show the video at the end of this interview.
Okay. Great.
If we're allowed to do that, I guess I should.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yes. And so the first country is Ireland, and this is all about people's genetic history. Is that correct?
That's right. We take people's family trees, and then we have them take DNA tests, and then we trace back their family history, build their tree up, and then we go back to the original person that left whatever country it is. In this particular case, it's Ireland, and let's say it's somebody's great-great-grandmother left Ireland, and that great-great-grandmother had a brother, and that brother stayed in Ireland. So what we do is we trace it forward from that point to get the descendants of that great-great-grandmother's brother's family. And then we match them up with the people that have done DNA tests and family trees in the United States. And then we bring them over to Ireland, and they meet this family for the first time. They're cousins. And during that time frame, we figure out where exactly they lived, where they left, why they left. We go through the whole scenario, and we bring these two people together. They share pictures, they share stories. It'll be the first time they've ever met. And it's pretty exciting when that happens, and you figure out that family's story. Where did they come from? Why did part of the family leave? Why did part of the family stay? And what happened during that time frame, during that 150 years or 100 years, what happened to the families? And it's just it's very exciting for those families to view that.
And how did you come up with the idea of doing this?
Well, it's sort of a convoluted story, but many, many years ago, my mom, God rest her soul, she was very into family trees and tracing our family tree. And she's Irish. My father's Irish. And she went through this whole process of tracing her family tree, and nothing was online back then. And she would go down to Philadelphia and root through the archives and all the other stuff. And
she was big at the library, huh?
Exactly right. So she had friends, they all did it together, and they had a good time. So one of her birthdays, I got her one of the family tree kits, and I gave it to her. And things started to switch to some online, and the archive started to be downloaded online. And she asked me if I would take over and start doing this for her. Well, not the problem, but what was going on in my life then, I have 3 kids. I was coaching soccer and baseball and you name it, I was coaching it for my kids. And I just didn't have the time to work full time and to do that. So it sort of went on the back burner. And then I had an opportunity to give a speech, an economic speech in Ireland. And I talked to all kinds of people over there, and they wanted me to discuss, it was basically Ireland's economic role in the European Union going forward. And I met some people on the phone that were in the Ireland tourism division. And they started having discussions with me about my background and things like that. And one thing led to the other, where I did a DNA test. I turned over my family tree to these people. they traced it back, traced it forward, found my relatives, and asked me if, while I'm over there for a week, if I would run the country of Ireland's Twitter account. And you're going to drive all over Ireland to meet your relatives. And I said, this sounds pretty cool. I would love to do that. So I gave my speeches, did my thing, and I drove all over Ireland, which was, scary in itself. They drive on a different side of the road, and the roads are very narrow, and I almost killed several people. So, it was fun.
So what kind of things do you include on Twitter for this effort? When you're running their Twitter account, what advantages do you have?
Well, the advantage this time, I'm going to run the Twitter account again. They asked me to run it again, the @Ireland account on Twitter. I'm going to run it starting October 5th, and I'm going to go through October 11th. And every day I will be on there discussing my documentary series starting in Ireland. And I'm going to talk about the different counties in Ireland and all the things, ancestry and family trees and DNA,
right, and
all the things that are involved with that. And it's beneficial to me because people get excited about it. They want to know, where they came from, the relatives they have, why didn't they go? People are really sort of into it, and so am I. So it's fun.
Wow, that's great. And where do you expect this to air, or haven't you determined that yet?
Well, right now we have an issue with COVID-19, which everybody else has the same issue. Mm-hmm. So I went through several cervical spine procedures, wow, and that sort of put me back. And my last surgery for that was January 2020, January this year. And I'm recovered now, so I'm looking forward to it. But COVID-19 put everything on the back burner, as in we don't believe that we can go over there until there's a shot. We have to be immunized to go over there. If I went over there today, I would have a 2-week period, right, where I'd have to be in isolation. And that's just not cost effective to do. So
yeah, I don't blame you for that, but that kind of puts you in a hole a little bit.
It does, but it's been interesting because we have a whole team, and we've hired some people, some photography crews over in Ireland, and they've been doing some filming and taking some photographs and doing some research and other people are doing research in the areas that we're going to go to, whether it's County Sligo or wherever it is, over in Galway or whatever. They're doing all kinds of research to figure out and take photos and things like that and videos so that we're sort of up and running. My problem is I don't want to do a Zoom meeting to meet people that are going to be on the show. I want to meet them face to face. And that's sort of a pet peeve that I have. So the second that I get immunized, I'll be over in Ireland, sitting down with these families, discussing everything and interviewing and going from there.
Boy, I have some, for people who know me, I have some heart issues, so I can't get around. I can't be in large gatherings or stuff like that, or I can't work on a regular basis in an office setting or something like that. So it's a little disappointing. So yeah, I can relate to some of the things you're going through, and boy, I can't. If they had a vaccine tomorrow, I'd take it if I knew it were safe.
And that's the whole thing. You have to wait for it to come out. You have to make sure that it's safe, and then you have to get that vaccine, and your whole team has to get that vaccine. So I don't want to put anybody at risk. I don't want to be at risk and go over there and do what we need to do. But the COVID-19 has disrupted everybody in the world. So we're all sort of going through this together, and we're all going to come out of it together, and we'll all be okay.
So who are some of the people on your team? Describe, I know you have people over in Europe doing a little B-reel for you, some B footage for you, but sure. Who's on your team?
Well, we have quite a large team. I'm going to name a couple of them, but we have a woman named Nova Lorraine. Nova is the founder of Rain Magazine. She is brilliant. She is our creative director, and she's from Jamaica. And what she adds to this project is I can't even describe how fantastic it is. She really knows what she's doing. She runs this magazine. She's interviewed everybody from Kendall Jenner to you name it. She really knows what she's doing, and she really has an eye for what to do, what not to do. She's very, very creative. So it is, I got really lucky getting her on my team. We have a guy named Mark Young. Mark Young is a marketing guy. He is no relation, by the way.
No, I was going to say that. It is
phenomenal.
Young Family Productions, so I thought
Right.
are any of your family involved? I'm sorry.
They are not, but what will happen is when this comes to fruition, I am definitely going to try to recruit some of the members of my family. I've got a son, Matt Young, who just really would be great at sales and marketing and things like that. And then I have a son, Sean Young, who would be great on the finance side. My daughter is Laura. She's at school down in Virginia, so she's got a couple of years left, and hoping to bring her in. So we'll see what happens, but that'll be a recruiting process.
Now, you were talking about Mark Young.
Yes, Mark Young is a marketing guru. He is also the person to handle all the contract negotiations. And for a project of this size, we have so many outside companies that are involved. We have actors that are involved. We have actors not in as the people participating, but people that are presenting. What we're trying to do is have people that are celebrities that are from the counties that we're going to open those shows and talk about the counties. And doing those negotiations and having somebody with a very, very good business sense to understand what's beneficial, what makes sense, that's where Mark Young comes into the picture. He really understands how to have those negotiations and keep everybody happy. That's not my strong point. So Mark takes care of all those things, and he's really, really good at it.
Wow, that's fantastic that you have such a great team. Now, where do you see yourself going after Ireland?
It's going to be Germany or Italy. I'm not sure which one's going to be first, but we're doing it based on population density in the United States. So when you look at somebody that says, hey, I'm German American, or I'm Irish American, or I'm Italian American. So you break all that stuff down. And number one, as far as population, is Germany. So people of German descent. And then you have people of Ireland, Irish descent, and Italian descent. We'll go throughout Europe. So I'm not sure which one it'll be, but we have, for Germany and Italy, we already have thousands of people interested that I have a team that is reviewing their family trees now, breaking that down to see if we can make those connections and go from there. So we have teams working on the outskirts, and I don't want to negate them because the job that they do is just fantastic. When we started this, we didn't know whether anybody would have any interest at all. But I hired some college kids, or college young men and women, to go out, go to all these message boards on these family tree websites, there's tons of them, and start posting. And what they did was that, I remember getting a call. I just got done one of my surgeries, and I get a call from this young lady, and she says to me, Bob, we're getting thousands of people that are interested in this. I don't know how to, I'm just writing them down and copying and pasting and stuff. So we ended up using a contact management software system and integrating that into the program. And we had to hire a software guy, and he had to do all this other stuff. And but we have thousands of people that are interested in doing this. And it's really interesting. And it's fun. And people are really into it. We look at a country like Ireland. Ireland is becoming a food capital, or one of the food capitals in all of Europe. The food in Ireland is not the same as it was 100 years ago. So we've done market research where we've asked questions of people. And the number one thing that keeps popping up is people want to travel, but they want to travel for a reason. They just don't want to go to a beach and sit on the beach. They want to have something to do. So we think that this is another arrow in the quiver where people say, I'm going to research my family. I'm going to find this, and I'm going to go and I'm going to meet them. In Ireland, there's bars that are 1,000 years old. So you go out to the bar and you sit down with your relative that you never met before, and you have a pint and you have something really good to eat. And you're sitting in the same bar that maybe your ancestors sat in 200 years ago. And it's really a unique experience. And that's what we're all about.
So Bob, when you go to Italy, keep in mind, I can hold a boom mic. Okay, so if you need, I'll go over to Italy with you, no problem. So,
but Italy's even a better example, because if you look at Italy and you look at all the Italian Americans, and you look at the food. I mean, I love Italian food. So, but you look at the food and you look at the recipes. When an Italian American goes over and meets a relative for the first time, they've never met them before, and they compare recipes, and they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, my great grandmother used to make this."
Yeah,
it's just an exciting thing for people. And we're really, honored to be a part of it.
Well, Bob, how can the average person follow along in your adventures?
Well, the first thing is if they're on Twitter, and if they're not on Twitter, sign up for it. It's free. And October 5th, start following @Ireland. Before that, we'll have a website up and running. We have a website, it's just not up yet. We were advised not to have it up and running until we're filming, until the film is released. But we're going to put it up anyway. We're going to run the @Ireland account, and we'll have a website that you can go to. And what it'll be is basically fill out a form, tell us about yourself, just do a DNA test, yes or no, and all the other stuff. And you fill it out, and then we go from there. We run it through our funnels. And somebody will be in touch if they, have an interest in exploring it further. And we'll go from there. But to begin with, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, all the social media sites we have somebody on. And we'll discuss that a lot when we're on Twitter.
That's great. That's great. Well, we wish you a lot of luck with this project. And, I want to see it go through, to fruition. On television, or even a web series would be great.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate that.
And folks, we have more for you here on Ralston Live coming up in just a moment. My thanks once again to WXPM 98.5 FM for hosting my show. And also, I want to give another shout out to PBR Productions. We're talking to Bob about video. They also do video. It's pbrproductions.com. And we'll see you next time right here on Ralston Live.
Thanks, John.